Special Operations Forces fighters thwarted the Russian advance in the Kupiansk direction. A group of soldiers from the 8th Separate Regiment of Special Operations Forces prevented the enemy from advancing through their actions. This was reported on the Telegram channel. It is noted that with the help of strike FPV drones, the enemy was driven into a building, after which operators cleared several buildings where the enemy was located.
As a result, 3 Russian servicemen were eliminated and the rest were forced to retreat.
In the Sumy region, the Ukrainian Armed Forces used drones to cut off Russian units' ground lines of communication and supply routes, including water. This is stated in the latest report from the Institute for the Study of War. It is noted that the occupiers continued offensive operations in the Sumy direction, but made no progress. Analysts also noted that because Ukrainian drones have cut off all Russian ground lines of communication and supply routes, the northern group of troops holding positions in Yunikivka has been without water for 8 days now. That's why the Russians are collecting rainwater. The report also notes that the military command in the Yunikivka area consists of officers without combat experience. They are stationed at rear headquarters 20 kilometers from the front line and refuse to evacuate the wounded and the dead. At the same time, Russia has depleted more than half of its stockpiles of armored vehicles and artillery, said OSINT researcher Jumpy, who analyzed satellite images and open-source data. To continue the war against Ukraine, the Russians have started pulling old equipment out of storage. For example, they have restored almost 5,000 tanks out of the pre-war total of 7,342, leaving only 19% of the pre-war number of vehicles in storage. The artillery depots have also been significantly depleted. Out of the pre-war 23,000 units, including mortars and anti-aircraft artillery, only about 39% remain at the bases. They have restored 14,000 units. At the same time, Jumpy notes cases where Russians abandon military vehicles for civilian cars and go on the offensive. This is a phenomenon the researcher links to the likely limited availability of operational military vehicles.